Welcome back. This is part 2 of a 3-part series exposing the truth of the rentals of heating and air conditioning equipment in Ontario. If you haven't watched the first part yet, I recommend that you go back and watch that, as we covered the first 5 reasons why it could be a costly mistake to rent a HVAC system here in Ontario. So in this video, we're going to be diving through points 6 through 10. And I'm going to show you how the numbers really work, and what seems like a great deal by going through rental could actually be, and most likely will be, a major financial disaster down the road. So number 6, high interest rates can be hidden within the monthly rental cost, but they can also increase year after year. When you first get into a rental, you're basically signing on at about usually between 11 to 15%. On average, most companies are usually 12, 13%. And that's basically what it works out to on a month-to-month basis. Now, it would be great if it stayed there, but the problem is it doesn't. And this is how they are going to make a massive amount of money from you. So they're already making a fortune by amortizing this over 15 years and really locking you in for that long. But what is going to add to that is the fact that now they can also increase your rate by, usually on average, most companies are between 2 to 4%. Could be more with some. The contracts I've seen, what people have sent me, I've basically confirmed that they're between that amount. So basically what it means, and you got to understand that a lot of salespeople are not telling you this. It'll be in your fine print among many other things that we'll discuss today. But the 2 to 4% could have significant financial repercussions for you down the road. Think about it. If you're starting out at, let's say, 13%, and they lock you in for 15 years, and they have the right to raise your percentage rate by 2% minimum to 4% every single year, and you are already going to be paying, let's say, like I said, a $13,000 contract works out to about $43,000 in the interest rate that they set at the beginning. Could you only imagine how much you're going to be paying on top of all that if they were to increase the rates by 2 to 4%? I don't have to be a math genius, and neither do you, to figure out that this alone is probably the number one reason among many of the other reasons, but this is a top reason why you need to really reconsider the whole rental market. Number 7, the true cost transparency. It's just not there. You know, they don't generally share with you the details and the long-term math of what it actually will be, because they have a lot of things in their contract which allow them to increase as time goes on. So you're just sold on the fact that it's low monthly payments, and realistically, they're not really that low, but you know, even if you figure that they're manageable right now, how do you think you're gonna be when they start increasing these year after year after year after year? And then if you want to get out of it, well, you gotta buy it out. And do you have that money? You've lost now the whole opportunity to do the initial financing that you could have done. Right? So we'll talk about that a little bit later in another video, but that's point 7. The 8th point is the fact that a lot of these companies hire subcontractors to do their work. The rental companies themselves don't actually do the work. They hire the subcontractors, and you're going to get a hit and a miss. You don't really know what you're going to get. So are you going to get a good quality installation? Or are you going to get an installation where, you know, the installers are just rushing to get as many done because they get paid on a per job basis? So when you start getting contractors that are hiring subcontractors that are paid on a per job basis, a lot of times those subcontractors are just going to use cheaper materials. They're going to do things half-fast. They're going to want to just get it done, because ideally a lot of subcontractors, they have the mindset that maybe if things get bad for that company, they'll just quit and they'll move on to another company. That's the problem. So that's number 8, something to consider. Number 9, you have limited equipment choice. I've seen countless times where rental companies are pushing low-end equipment and charging basically what middle to higher end equipment is worth, and on top of that getting all the rental perks from it as well. So yeah, just be careful with that, because you know, it's very unlikely you're going to be getting very good quality equipment going into your house compared to if you were just to buy the equipment and pick exactly what you want. When you have a rental contract, in some companies you don't have the choice. Other companies, you're still very rare that you're going to be getting anything high end. But if you do choose it, substantially raise those monthly costs to even more. And number 10, and final point for this video is the maintenance. So you're sold on the fact that all your maintenance, all your repairs are all done. You don't have to worry with a rental contract compared to other contracts. Well, guess what? You can get that anywhere very easily. So first of all, when your system's new, you usually have, a few years of parts and labor warranty. So labor warranty anyways. And then you have at least usually 10 years of parts. Some manufacturers give 12-year parts, but let's say 10 years. So you have 10 years to have your all your parts covered. And from a labor standpoint, you have the first 2 years. So you can eliminate that monthly maintenance contract that you would have had before. If you are on one and you're paying that monthly, you can get rid of that. Sorry, not maintenance, service contract. You can get rid of that and just pay for a maintenance every year, okay, if you were to buy it out. The other thing is, you also have the opportunity when you buy the furnace to buy an extended 10-year parts and labor warranty. So, which means you're covered on all parts and all labor for the duration of the program. Now, some of those parts and labor warranties only cover the parts and labor, but if you get service calls, you have to pay for those. The insurance contracts that we sell, they are done by a third party, so everything's covered. So you're really, really protected. After 10 years, you can then go on a month-to-month program with a maintenance and service contract, and most companies are charging anywhere from $20 to $30, maybe $35 a month or whatever, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the hundreds of dollars that you're going to be paying with these other companies. And when I say, when I'm talking into the 30s and stuff, that's usually a combination of both the furnace and the AC together. So you're getting the maintenance, you're getting all repairs, and that's all you'd be paying per month. The percentage rate, like I said, it was 13%. All they're doing is they're calculating that, and then they're adding on another whatever amount of money, $20, $30, $40, whatever it is that the companies want to charge for those maintenance and service contracts. But now you're paying that basically for the whole 15 years. So this is why a lot of the companies are being sold on this by the rental companies, is the fact that, they're locking in their clients they're getting 15 years of guaranteed maintenance programs from these customers. So think about it. I'm going to be doing a video of breaking down the exact way that you can avoid these rental programs and the alternatives that you can do that are going to be much safer and a much better choice for you to make in another video. So that's it for this video, and in the next video we're going to cover the next 4 points, and one of those 4 points is going to be something that I've seen cost homeowners thousands of dollars when it comes time to sell their home. So you're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned.